Hi guys, this is an updated version of the iClone Spring Joints plugin. And just to let you know, this is not an official release by Reallusion. It's just something I've coded myself. Basically, I'm a web developer, coder, looked at a bit of the Python coding and thought, maybe we can get this going, because I really needed it for a project. And it was quite frustrating that it was only working for iClone 7. So here we are, with a few extra features, and admittedly I did use a bit of ChatGPT to help me along the way, and it's turned out pretty well. I think we've got some extra features added which will help you save your settings, and you can load them back in. Just to let you know, in this first sort of section, I'm not really going to apply to what I'm saying to what's happening on the screen. I'm just going to give you a bit of an overview. So you can save and load your settings in, and it helps because you can then sort of forget about, if you click out of your object that you're working on, you can then work on other objects or other parts of your scene and then come back to it, and then you've still got everything saved in a JSON file. You need to load that JSON file in for it to keep taking effect every time you click on your object. Beauty of it is you can save multiple objects settings, Spring Joint settings, into that one JSON file. So if you have, say, these, I don't know, 5 sort of spheres set up with all different settings, providing you name them in the scene inspector on the left-hand side, providing you name them uniquely, they'll pick up their JSON settings that you've loaded in. So it's quite handy in that respect. Also, we've added a few extra controls, which are XYZ rotations. So you can turn them up or down on each of their axes. And that's really quite powerful for this plugin, because it really sort of buttons down the control over what's going on with these joints. You don't really see it in the all these spheres connected together, but when you're using boxes, or perhaps you're using joints from a skeleton, you really see the difference that these sliders make. So worth looking out for. I'll show you a little bit of this in action as we go on. So here's just another stack here that you can just see it in action. When you're selecting or attaching objects to each other, you need to select the first one, then the second one, and once they're attached, you then need to attach both of them to the following object, and then you've then got 3, and then you need to attach those 3 to the next object. So you're kind of creating a tree like you see on the left there. You can connect them in series, but you'll get different spring action results from this. When you're selecting the boxes in the Spring Joints UI, you just need to select the parent. You don't need to select where it says chamfer box 001. You don't need to select them. Just select the parent item and it will do its job. And one of the things that the old Spring Joints plugin didn't have, and that was that it grayed out all the settings. So when you were trying to tweak them, you couldn't touch the bounciness or the stiffness settings or anything like that, or the damping. So that's something that I added in to allow you to do that. So this is the towel from the iClone library, and as you can see, it's not applying any spring effects, even though I've got everything turned on. And the reason why is because this actual object or prop already has spring applied to it. So if you wanted, for whatever reason, mess around with this, then you just turn the spring effects off, and then there you go, away it goes. Some objects will have spring already applied, and I don't really know how you're supposed to turn them off, but they just won't turn off, which doesn't really affect anything, luckily. So I don't know what's going on there. One for a Reallusion to sort out, maybe. I don't know. So yeah, just to show you a few other examples. If you want to animate a character, you don't always have to play around with the bones of that character. You can actually use a reach target, which I think you've probably seen in other demos of the old Spring Giants plugin. So you can just grab hold of this character's reach target and then just connect it to whatever's happening in the Spring Joints list of objects. So there you go. So I've selected that top sphere, and then you'll see that when it's animated with the Spring Joints plugin enabled, it should do something with the head. There you go. Bit weird, I know, but you can imagine what else you can do with this. You know, you can tweak this and, you know, just play around with it and get some interesting settings. Obviously, you can use it on other body parts, the hands, reach target, knees, feet, whatever you think you want to sort of play around with. And yeah, I think that was a standard sort of feature of the old plugin anyway, but you wouldn't have had the control over the rotation here, certainly the stiffness and bounciness, obviously, but the rotation and all that kind of stuff, you can do some interesting stuff with. So you're probably asking, well, I don't want all these spheres hanging around while I'm animating my character. So all you do there is, once you're happy with the effect, you just hide that stack of spheres or boxes or whatever you're using, just to get the effect and get them out of the way. So here you could just do this in your timeline, just hide them, and away you go. So he's back, he's incredible, and he's the goon, and he's standing on the box. So what I'm trying to display here is you got this guy standing on a box, not a lot's happening, and I just want to see if we can use iClone's animation layers to, yeah, just change the way this actor is performing. So we'll start with, say, the head, and maybe animate something there. So you can search for the joints, which is something else that's been added to this plugin. And as you can see, select his head, off he goes, and it's applying the spring effect. And again, you can play around with the rotation and do some crazy stuff with that if you need to. So we're going to record that. So that's all cool. And then we're going to add an animation layer. So what this is doing is not recording over what we've just recorded. We've got a brand new animation layer, and we're going to now just click on another body part, or sorry, not body part, but bone. Record that. And now you've got the head going, you've got the waist going. And now we can add, say, another animation layer, and perhaps just put on, I don't know, some animation on his arms. So let's get the hand up, or arms, or whatever, and click on those. So just got a little bit of action there in the arms. This video is sped up, by the way, so it's not actually going this fast in real life, but I just wanted to show you as quickly as possible. So obviously you can take out what you don't like, and just keep adding to it or taking away, playing around with it until you get what you want, really. Okay, this is just another example of plugin working. We're going to set up these boxes, just flip them upside down, just have a play around with them, save, just load it back in, check that it's all working, lovely, get some simulation going, all good. Again, you can just record that. Also, you can record the parent object moving around, set all your spring animation up, and then just delete the moving around keys, and the spring animation will be there. So that's another sort of way of doing it. Okay, so this guy is the whole reason why I started this programming of this plugin, because I wanted a tail on him and I couldn't do it. It was driving me mad. I was messing around in Blender, and I created the tail in Blender. There's plenty of videos on that if you want to find out how to do that. But yeah, eventually I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could just select the whole of the tail and just make it do what I want it to do? I know I can do it in Character Creator, but yeah, it's not a lot of control, or as much control as I wanted. And it also kept spinning the tail around too much and all that. So here we are with the finished result. He's a bit of a dodgy kangaroo, but I don't know. He looks all right to me ish. Yeah. So with this particular situation, you can see how well it works with the rotation controls, because you can really get, you know, some interesting animation results by just tweaking those rotations. And yeah, it stops things spinning out of control. So yeah, I think this is a vast improvement on what was originally available. So if you now look at animating with this plugin, why things have got a movement applied to them, like a running movement, then it does get quite interesting. So we put I don't know, make him run. Okay, I'm not doing too well at making him run at the moment. Let's get this happening. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to record him running. And what we want to do now is try and add on some spring joint animation. So the tail there is a bit wild, so I'm just calming it down again with the rotation values, just straightening it out, as you can see there. Stiffness of the tail, yeah, let's tweak that. Is it bouncing too much? Maybe not enough, maybe a bit more. Just changing that to try and get a desired effect. Whether that's what I actually want or not, I don't know. But, you know, it's just for demonstration purposes. So, yeah, we want to try and add a layer onto this. Maybe do something with the head or whatever. Make the head sort of bounce around. So let's see if we can just add another animation layer on top of this after we finish fiddling with that tail. And then, yeah, head. So let's find the head bone and see what sort of effect we can get with the head. Yeah, there you go, nodding away. Yeah, and that's it really. There's plenty of scope for all sorts of different things with this. So obviously you'll play around with it and see what you come up with. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in another video, hopefully.